Here's another off the cuff sort of just talk about, you know, I guess my creative process in general and lately. I just got back from Bequinox, which is an LA Burning Man regional, where I'm proud to say I finally got to a stage of my burn where I'm sort of outputting more art than I am necessarily going out there to imbibe it. And you know, you can burn any way you want, but for me, I guess I'm proud that I'm you know, singing and dancing to such a degree that you know, I'm putting out the art as much as I reasonably can within my energetic, you know, requirements, I guess. So um, I happened to write a new song yesterday, which I'm very proud of too, um, and it's very similar to two songs ago. But I've written three new songs pretty recently, so I'm happy about that. And this new one, I think, is sort of one of the closest ones I've gotten to describe the nature sort of my connection and desire. I'd say probably influenced by my dancing, but I do feel like it's a maturity in my music, and I think you guys will like it. So let me just get that recorded as soon as I get it under my skin. But I wanted to describe, for example, one of my new songs came to me when I was the second to last one, Where We Belong. Um, that came to me in a nap where I'm laying down and, the song lyrics come to me all at once. And it was almost annoying at the time because, I didn't want to get up from the nap, but I ended up just sort of splitting the baby and writing all the lyrics down. And then when I got up, I played the song on my guitar. And then it just takes a process of sort of getting it under my skin. It's almost like I've received like a fuzzy radio signal, and I'm trying to like tune it in. So it's not necessarily that I work on the song or I add a verse or add a chorus or whatever. It just kind of comes instantaneously. And so for me, you know, you could describe that process in a magical way to say it's like the muse or some sort of, you know, cosmic connection that, you know, suddenly you come upon and it strikes you like that. Or you could say it's a bubbling up of the subconscious in like the deepest way. So I often think about my songs as sort of in a way my most guiding vanguard of my soul, in that even though I slip up and even though I have moments where, you know, the hustle and bustle of life takes me in and I forget the truest part of my quest, my songs call to me to wake me up. And at the burn, some of the greatest gifts I got were people's comments on my music, just saying, they really felt how authentic it was, or the soul transmission. And that's why I like focusing on performance, because it's fun to record and auto tune and do all that stuff. And don't get me wrong, it can sound really great. And nowadays with music, it's like if you don't have that level of production, it kind of seems like you're in a different category or something like that. But I guess what I really like is going around to burns, which I did this burn with my guitar late at night looking for campfires. And when I find someone's campfire, and said, hey, would you guys like to hear an original song? I think everybody said yes. And I would always, do really well just gifting them like a song or two. And that level of performance, just from, art being an authentic expression of the deepest part of your soul, I would often say that, you can talk to me for a million years about every subject you want, but in a way I feel like you might not know me as well as if you didn't sort of understand or take in my art. Art is an expression from the deepest part of our soul that sort of goes beyond mere words or language, but when you combine it with the artistic elements of sound or paint or dance or whatever it is, it can express something. It's a communication of the deepest parts of our soul. And so for me, my songs have always been strikes of lightning, of unconscious, a strike of gold. Lately I've been getting better, and I feel like that's the task of the artist, right? To sort of take in life experience and then transmute it into a communication that someone might also call beautiful or powerful or even sorrowful, just in a way that communicates the deepest part of the human soul in like sort of a real, juicy, authentic way. Another image that I want to play here is that, often I come home from work and I am in what I would describe as the monkey mind. In other words, I'm here and there. I'm thinking about schedules. I'm thinking about what's going to happen tomorrow. Did I do that one thing right? It's just the nature of, I think, the most of our rat race to sort of dissect your mind like that. Not to mention, all our phones and social media and stuff like that. Um, and so then most of us don't have this experience, I'd suggest, maybe outside of a few things in your life. Most of us don't have the experience of sort of sitting down in my way with a piece of wood and some steel strings and just let the magic sort of come from my corporeal essence. And suddenly my experience is inverted. Where no longer am I back and forth here and there, dissecting reality into the butcher, the baker, the candlestick maker, but rather I'm pouring out this love, passion, and magic from me in a way that when it happens very clearly, I just sort of sit beside myself and listen to it happen. And so, strangely enough, I have come upon a new form of art that is also, to me, just as valid, and it's dance. And I came upon that in virtual reality, strangely enough. I like to joke that I learned all my moves in virtual reality, but I did, but I brought it to the burn, both the 2022 burn and this past equinox, and I have to say, I did well, even in my own self-critical standard. So I'm just proud of myself, and I encourage all of you. Some people can sort of just march forward for whatever reason. I feel like because my art is so authentic, for whatever reason in my path, sometimes it can be difficult to find maybe a self-confidence, support, a pride, especially when you're locked up in the hustle and bustle and, not too much time for art and art expression. I urge myself and the rest of us to sort of grab deep down in there and pull that special thing out in whatever way, applies to you, especially in this age of AI and this sort of coming information singularity, whatever you want to say. I think that it's more and more important for us to discover and express our humanity. And I think the forefront of that expression is art. So I really appreciate you guys being here. It means a lot to me. A long time ago, I would have never imagined that you'd have a platform like this where you could just upload. And I know YouTube existed for years, but it took me a while to realize that social media was a way to, just put out my art without any middleman and stuff like that. So it's given me a lot of confidence. It's given me a lot of expression. I continue to write new songs. I continue to choreograph. So I really appreciate it. And thanks for being here. I'm Trailblazer. Happy Sunday.